Welcome everyone to another video of Vinyl Addict. This is Chili, and on this day in rock, June 4th, 1996, Metallica released Load. Now before I get into this, please don't forget to hit the like button, comment on my video, share this video, and if you still have it, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for updates. Okay, so with that out of the way, this is the album which was the follow-up to the Black Album, which took 5 years in the making, or 5 years for them to put out another release. And I would have to say this is probably the last best album they had. It's one of my favorites. It's not. It wasn't really a favorite to a lot of people, mainly because the way they looked, as they changed their look, they cut their hair. There was just certain things that people weren't really vibing with as far as this album was concerned. I felt this album, as far as to the prior album, was better, and now a lot of people would agree with that. However, I feel like just going down track by track, I mean, Ain't My Bitch, way better song than Enter Sandman. 2x4, better song than Sad But True. There's just a bunch of there's more imagination on this album, and as far as Kirk's playing, which I'm not a real fan of, he actually works well in this album because this is more of a hard rock, blues rock album. And so he's trying different things on here, like on the solo of Ain't My Bitch. He's doing like a slide solo, and The House That Jack Built, great song. He has a voice box that they're using on that that song. Until It Sleeps was the first single. So this was kind of alternative rock around that time in the 90s as well. Side 2 was King Nothing, Hero of the Day, Bleeding Me. Now this is the longest album they've had, 78 minutes and 59 seconds. They were told that they would have to cut the song The Outlaw Torn for, it was like a minute longer or something like that, just so they could fit the CD length, which is 80 minutes approximately. But 79 minutes it'll start to skip, so they just got it to the mark. So 78 minutes and 59 seconds. And the thing is about it, their albums now are really long and lengthy. Well, the new one was like 77 minutes, 72 seasons. However, it just seems longer than this album, just because there's 12 songs on that one, and there's 14 on here. A lot of these songs are less than 5 minutes, which is really cool. And I think they work best at hard rock and not thrash metal. And that's how I just feel, because also on this album was King Nothing, like I said, Hero of the Day, which was another good song, Bleeding Me, and side 3 was Cure, which, I would feel like this is one of the last best songs that Lars was actually really good at playing the drums. Poor Twisted Me, Wasting My Hate, Mama Said. I mean, there's a little country going on in there, a country vibe, southern rock vibe. Thorn It Within, Ronnie, and The Outlaw Torn. The last side, those last 3 songs, they kind of drag. It could have just, they could have just ended at Mama Said. It would have been a perfect album. However, I feel like this is probably their last best album. Now, James wasn't really happy with the artwork on the album, the blood and the semen picture, and he felt like this was a whole Kirk and Lars show with just the way they looked, the cutting up the hair, the makeup, and all this other stuff. He said in an interview that it was them trying to, Lars' idea of trying to be like Bono and doing the U2 thing, and they got the same photographer who did Octoon Baby, and they're kind of doing that same kind of thing here with their photos, and changing their look and whatnot. And I really didn't care about that, as far as the music is concerned. I thought, the music outweighed the image thing, and because James was saying, who gives a really two craps about image, and he's right, because at the end of the day, yeah, people were talking more about, oh, they cut their hair and all this makeup that they're wearing and all this other stuff, and the music was pretty much not really scrutinized, or they didn't really speak about the album, but the reviews on here were mixed. A lot of people did like it critically, and I thought, like I said, this is their last best album. They wouldn't have anything challenging for their listeners to like Saint Anger, but as far as like their last best album, I feel like it is Load, with as far as a collection of songs, and there's a lot of energy, and there's a lot of like they really put a lot into this, because they did have a lot of extra songs, which would be on Reload, which came out a year after this album in '97, and so they had some songs on there, and I felt like that album was like the leftovers, because these songs, obviously they're very strong on here, and some of those songs on the Reload album, I would, I guess, have to revisit it, but as I remember, it didn't really do anything for me on the first two listens. It was there's a few shining moments on here, but it wasn't like this one. So that's what happened this day in rock, June 4th, 1996. Metallica released Load. What are your thoughts on this album? Like I said, this is, to me, their last best one, and probably as far as after the Cliff Burton albums, this is probably the best one. So that's just my opinion. What is yours? And with that, I'll shut up and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.